All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 57 of Can We Make Impact Wrestling the best wrestling promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013? I am your host, the Mayor, Jason Smith, adjusting the webcam accordingly. There we go. That's much better. In today's episode, we will be talking TNA Against All Odds 2009 as we continue to chronicle the history of monthly TNA Impact GFW pay-per-views. Also, we are headed to Impact Wrestling TV 6 days away, and in that, we're going to be sending a lot of people home. That's right, we are firing a bunch of people. So I wanted to kind of see where everybody stood in our roster so that I could logically make better decisions when it came to reducing our roster size, because we are a little bloated and we've been bloated for a while. Ideally, we're looking to be around 26 active wrestlers. We are at 55. So there's going to be some painful cuts. And I figured the best way to do that is probably to put them in matches. Why not? I could just, go down the list and just fire everybody. So this is their winning percentage. This is where they rank in terms of that winning percentage. Don't put too much stock in this because, Seth is first in winning percentage, but he's only had 18 matches since he joined the company. Whereas Marty Scurll is second, and he's had, 50 plus matches with the company. So, take that with a grain of salt, if you will. And just kind of keep an eye on that. So, like, for example, I probably wouldn't fire... I forgot to add Jay Briscoe's tag team results. Whoops. So he should be at 12 and 29. And Mark Briscoe is at 13 and 28. So you take, for example, like Adam Page, who's way down at the bottom, but he's only had 13 matches. Granted, he hasn't won many of them. Pac is 0 and 4. He just got here a month ago. And that's just the way the booking has drawn out. But there are some guys we're going to be saying goodbye to that just haven't quite worked out. Dalton Castle is one. And then you've got Flip Gordon is another. Jay Lethal, Jay White, the Coffee Brothers, OVE, and maybe even the Briscoes could be gone by the end of this whole ordeal. Also, Kira Hogan, Rosemary, Tessa Blanchard could also be gone as well. It's kind of a bummer, but that's just the way the booking went with the way that the roster was constructed. So let's dive into this here. We're gonna move this over just a touch, and we'll start firing male singles competitors. And we will start... I got a better idea here. Let's sort this up here. So let's sort it. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now we can dive into our roster. You see Pac is 0 and 4, dead last on the roster. It's probably not going anywhere. Davian Everhart and Desmond Xavier have not really panned out like I hoped with their Young Lion status. But they're 0 and 2 as a tag team, and they really didn't get a chance when it came to their singles competition together. So think of these guys as like Private Party in AEW. Sort of like that. Flip is the first one, sadly, that is probably going to go if he doesn't want to go down to developmental. Yeah, he's not going to get much better. We admittedly haven't booked him very well, and I hate to do it, and I hope he comes back, but we're going to terminate Flip Gordon. So Flip is officially gone from our roster. Next up are the Coffee Brothers, Joe and Mark. They've got 9 months left on their deal. I am going to release them both, so I'm not really worried about Mark being salty about me firing his brother. They're both gone. Problem solved. So Joe Coffee is gone. Mark Coffee is gone. Dalton Castle is next on the list. Dalton has definitely not worked out, and he's still got a long way to go on his deal, so we're going to eat a ton of cash letting him go. Jay White is next on the list. I hate to do it because he's really been coming around. I really hate to do it. How much time does he have left on his... He's got a long way to go. Man, let me percolate on that one because I want to get rid of OVE, Dave and Jake Christ. We're paying them a lot of money to be enhancement talent. And we're paying them a lot of money to lose a ton of matches. So Dave and Jake Christ are gone. We'll go ahead and say goodbye. Sean Spears is next. Sean, unfortunately just hasn't quite worked out. So we're going to let him go about 10 months early. And I hope he does well wherever he lands. I really do. And then everybody else is pretty much safe. Oh, Jay Lethal. I hate to do it to Jay as well because I like Jay Lethal a lot. But he's gone. Ricochet's a bit of an enigma for me. I want to keep him. I really do. And I really kind of had high hopes for Ricochet that he would work out for me. But he hasn't. And he's got a long, long, long way to go. Yeah, I don't see him being what we need to be long term. So, I think let's rearrange pushes and see where he falls. Because that could be the kicker. He went to the lower mid card. Yeah, we're going to let him go. I'm not going to pay that kind of money for a lower mid card guy. He's just not working out, and it sucks. But it is what it is. Jay Lethal also gone. Okay. Now let's switch over to the women. There we go. So the women. There we go. There's our ladies. Maybe. Let's give them a little bit more space. How about that? Okay. Really? Fine. We'll do this. Eat that, punk. Alright. Arisa Nakajima has not done well. She's a pay-per appearance. She's 0-6. Goodbye. Bea Priestley's new. We're going to hang on to her. Kira Hogan. As much as I appreciate Kira Hogan's work in real life, she's going to have to go. We're also going to get rid of Rosemary, another performer whose work I really, really love. That one's not going to cost us anything either, so that's good. And Tessa Blanchard, who I had hoped would be the face of our women's division, just has not worked out that way, so she is gone as well. Arisa Nakajima's gone. Kira Hogan's gone. Rosemary's gone. And Tessa Blanchard's gone. And you can see, like, with Kairi Sane, when she went on that just insane run, how great she really was. She was, at one point, I think she was like 24-1, 31-1, something ridiculous like that. And then she turned it around. All right, so now we're down to 42 on our active roster. 30 male, 12 female. And we could probably stand to make a few more cuts. The Briscoes, I definitely had wanted to release as well. So we'll go ahead and get rid of them. It sucks because I love the Briscoes' work. So Jay and Mark. Alright, so we released the Coffee Brothers, so we can get rid of them on the tag team side as well. The Coffee Brothers are gone. OVE is gone. The Briscoes are gone. There we go. Okay. So that puts us at an even 40. So we're still way over where we need to be. And really, I mean, if we got rid of Everhart, Xavier, and Jay White, that gets us down even further. Let's go ahead and renegotiate our pushes here. Oh yeah, that's counting Alex Shelley, who is currently on vacation. Okay. Alright, so I think we're good there. We're going to go ahead and move on and advance a day, and we're going to talk about Against All Odds 2008. Back in the Impact Zone after being at the Bojangles Coliseum for the previous pay-per-view, TNA Genesis. The first match of the night featured an X Division Championship match to start things off. The champion, Alex Shelley, who won the tournament at Genesis, beat Eric Young in his first pay-per-view defense. The next match was a breakup of a storyline partnership that had gone on for quite a while. Scotty Steiner beat Petey Williams. And it was a quick, not really a quick match, but about 11 minutes. Lots more retirements coming down the pike. Fred Yehi heads to Ring of Honor. That's pretty awesome. I know I'm burying the lead. I see it. I know. Aaliyah staying with WWE. Shazza McKenzie, the Shimmer. Murder Clown with AAA. AAA have extended a contract to Demon Rocker. Nitro's retiring. And, of course... Oh. Okay, then. Hulk Hogan. Tragic death of Hulk Hogan announced last night with initial medical reports hinting that his well-known usage of drugs was the main cause of death. the age of 66. I'll be damned. This is in game, so nobody think they're breaking news or anything like that. It's in game. I've seen Hulk Hogan live. Actually, it's pretty cool. When I was a really little kid, WWF at the time came to my town, to the fairgrounds during the county fair, to do a show, and Texas Tornado, Ultimate Warrior, Hogan. It was just a really cool show. I remember it vividly, and it was such a fun time. I was there with my dad, and there was some other of my friends there that didn't go with us, but I remember being there. It was pretty awesome. A pretty cool show to take in. WWF at the time was pretty awesome. And Hogan is probably my best friend's top wrestler of all time. He's a huge Hogan fan, and after everything that came out about some of the things he said and some of that stuff, it was my circle of friends is split on how to handle Hulk Hogan at this point. I can't take away from what he did for the business. Nobody can. But some of the things he said were abhorrent. Some of the things he's done cast a bit of a negative light on him as a person. Now, they had absolutely nothing to do with his contribution to the business, to what he and Vince McMahon did, and what he and Vince McMahon created with Hulkamania. I liken it a lot to Michael Jackson, and all of the misdeeds that he had. And, you can say anything and everything that you want about the man as a person, but you can't take away his contribution to the world. It's not like you can just make everyone forget about his music. You just can't make everyone forget Hulk Hogan exists. And that's the weird world that the WWE lives in, that they just stop acknowledging people when they get into trouble, or when something tragic happens, or they just don't get along with the company. They just completely erase them from the conversation. CM Punk comes to mind. There was a time when that happened to Ultimate Warrior. Hulk Hogan for a little while, who managed to finally get back into their good graces. Chris Benoit is another one. The things that those people did as people, you have to set aside from what they contributed as a character. Hulk Hogan, the person, Terry Bollea, said those awful, terrible things. Terry Bollea as a person is not good. Hulk Hogan, the character, put pro wrestling on the map in the mainstream world. You have to separate those two. Chris Benoit was a master in the ring. And it is unfortunate that some of the methods he used to get to be the size he was, to help him with his look in the ring, put him into a position, along with some of the contact that he took and some of the beatings that he took and the concussions and things like that, that created what Chris Benoit, the murderer, became. So that one I can understand, because you're getting into kind of that muddy water there, Hulk Hogan's work in the ring didn't make him say those racist things. Ultimate Warrior's work in the ring didn't make him be what he was in Vince McMahon's eyes. CM Punk is a little bit of a different story too, because it kind of had something, a lot to do with the work in the ring, but a lot of it, wasn't really his fault. in that, he kept getting booked with guys who would wrestle him stiff, would, you know, weren't really at the level that Punk was at in terms of how good they were. And it really kind of just shook up the whole universe there and really put some muddy waters into that. But you get my point. And I'll move on from this nonsense that I'm talking about here. I already gave you one rant this week. You're not getting another one. All right, next match at Against All Odds 2009. 6.5 minute match. Magnus in his pay-per-view debut would defeat Chris Sabin. And then we had a 5.5 minute match for the Women's Knockout Championship. Awesome Kong, the defending champion, would beat ODB to retain her title. All right. Lots more retirements. Little Legs hangs the boots up. Asia Kong, Lady Apache retiring as well. Shea Samuels wins the championship. AAA Sin Limite. Pretty funny. I was actually at Disc Traders the other day. Probably a week or so ago, and I came across a copy of Lucha Libre AAA Wrestling for Xbox 360, and I almost bought it. If I go back again and it's there, I'll probably buy it. It wasn't, from what I've read, it wasn't that great of a game, but it is what it is. Alright. Charles Wright, the Godfather, retiring. Alright, next match. TNA Legends Championship broken out in a 6-minute match. Booker T, the defending TNA Legends champion, would defeat Shane Sewell, who jumped over from his work in Puerto Rico to take on Booker T. Booker T introduced the Legends Championship in October, and basically named himself the inaugural Legends Champion. This championship would sort of meander its way into becoming the global championship, and then into the television championship, and then into what would become the King of the Mountain championship. And then, ironically, that is the title that we reactivated to become our new television title in-game. And we continue to not miss anything. Network schedules have been released, so we'll start getting our additional TV ratings, or we'll be able to expand our contract when those reopen. As our TV coverage, we have 12 episodes left, and we'll be looking to expand coverage, hopefully. Knock on wood. I wonder if it'll let us... Nope. Okay. Close that. Now that we've reduced our roster, too, the hour-and-a-half time, I won't feel like as many people are being left out. Alright, so we'll go ahead and move forward. We'll talk about the next match on the card. Matt Morgan, the Blueprint, would take on his former tag team partner, Abyss, in the next match. 15.5 minutes. Abyss would pick up the W in this one. I don't know if any of you caught AEW yesterday, but really good show that they put on. Chris Jericho completely obliterated WWE creative. It was fantastic. Okay. Unread emails waiting. Probably for Corey Graves. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have a place for him. Maybe. Could get rid of JBL. And we'll make Corey Graves our pay-per-view color man. Possibly. We'll see. Alright, moving forward. Next match on the card. Beer Money Inc., the defending TNA World Tag Team Champions, taking on the team of Lethal Consequences. Consequences Creed and Jay Lethal. Teaming up, getting it done. And Beer Money would get it done in this match with picking up the victory thanks to Jacqueline to retain their TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Cobra, born in 1984 in Chicago, Illinois. EC3 joins New Japan. Wow. All right. Good for him. Tim Storm retires. Rival bid update from the WWE on Sterling James Keenan. 19,240 with the promise of being potentially a wrestler. Whatever is needed could mean wrestling. So we've had to bump up our money and bump up the length of the contract. See if he can maybe give JBL a break or Michael Cole a break. Mauro Ranallo, Michael Cole, JBL on our pay-per-views, and then on TV we could do Michael Cole, JBL, and Corey Graves. 3-man announce team. And just get rid of Joey Styles completely. Alright, moving on. Last match on the card at Against All Odds 2009. Sting taking on Kurt Angle, Devon, and Bully Ray. Not sure why Devon and Bully Ray were in this match. It probably would have been more palatable with just Sting and Kurt Angle, but I think they had kind of done that to death. So, you know, add those two for a little bit of extra oomph, I guess. And the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Sting would retain after defeating Devon, Bully Ray, and Kurt Angle. All right. Tommy Dreamer won the Gift of the Gods title over Sammy Guevara. again? They must really want to hang on to him. Which means I really want to steal him. Okay. Impact Wrestling tonight. Tomorrow's episode, episode 58, we'll talk about TNA Destination X 2009. Also Destination X5, whatever you want to call it. We would see the TNA pay-per-view debut of the Governor, also known as Daphne. If you remember Miss Daphne, she was around in 99, 2001. She was kind of a natural born killery kind of character. She ran around with David Flair. She was weird. She also was the valet for Chris Ford, who wrestled as Crowbar. When WCW was bought, just before they were purchased, she was released by WCW. She would jump around through the indies, Shimmer, Anarchy Championship, Turnbuckle Championship. She ran around with Shark Boy for a little bit in TNA back in like 2002. Ring of Honor she worked for. OVW with Aaron Rex. And then she would jump back after kind of making her way through the indies to TNA. And she was actually... Daphne was one of the three women that, if you remember, we talked about Awesome Kong doing that challenge where she picked plants out of the audience to wrestle. It was Amber O'Neil, Kim Davis, Becky Bayless, I cannot think of her real name, and Daphne. And then she would be brought back as the Governor, where she would pretend to be like a Sarah Palin type of spoof. And she would run around with Roxy and Taylor Wilde, making fun of Angelina Love, Madison Rayne, and Velvet Sky, collectively known as the Beautiful People. So, yeah, there you go. That's my long explanation of who the hell the Governor is. And I think that would be really the only TNA pay-per-view debut, except for Suicide, made famous by the video game TNA Impact. Suicide was an X Division character and played by Christopher Daniels, TJP, Frankie Kazarian. I think technically TJP was Manic and not Suicide. But anyway, Suicide... No, TJP was Suicide. So it was Kazarian, Chris Daniels, Kiyoshi, TJP, Jonathan Gresham, Caleb Conley has used it. Austin Aries was under the mask once. I know I'm forgetting somebody. I can't remember who, but you get the idea. Anyway, all right, we are in the Eisen Arena. We've been there before, and we've put on some pretty good shows. And we're going to be looking to fill the rest of our card up here and making some changes to our card, especially because Jay White had a title shot against Jon Moxley. He's no longer with the company. Jay Lethal, Everhart, and Flip Gordon are gone. The Coffees, the Briscoes, OVE are gone. So the Bucks need a match. Jonathan Moxley's going to need an opponent. And we have yet to even scratch the surface of our women's division. Su Yung and Billie Kay are the only ones we have booked right now. So, looking at this, our world title, Seth Rollins versus TJP. TJ is 16th, really. So, Marty Scurll really should get that shot. And I don't have a match for Marty right now. Marty, theoretically, should be the number one contender based on winning percentage. So we're going to test the waters with that one. And we'll go Seth Rollins and Marty Scurll, who for some reason is still a mid-carder. But we'll dip our toe in the water with this one. Alright, let's see here. Penta versus Kenny Omega is still on for the TV title, which reminds me we need to have the television title defended. Pentagon Jr., the champion, will take on... This is sort of a floating mid-carder-y type title. So we'll put TJP... Actually... No. We won't put TJP in that match. Pause that. We're going to put... We're going to put Cody in that match. Because I want to dip my toe into the waters with a tag team. I want to test this tag team out. And if it works, then the Bucks will have somebody to fight. So we're going to start with the Bucks. And we're going to roll TJP and Will Ospreay out as a tag team. I want to see if this works. Actually, no, I want to take that off. There we go. All right. Just want to see if this works. If TJP and Will Ospreay make a good team. Alright, so that's going to throw this match all off too. And that off. Okay. Alrighty. Next. Adam Cole, our Impact Grand Champion, does not have the best winning percentage. And really, should be somebody like Rich Swann, who's got a match already. Kofi, who I'm going to put in a match. Elgin's got a match. Eddie Edwards doesn't have a match. But he will, because he's a tag team wrestler. Johnny Impact. Adam Cole, Johnny Impact. That Grand Championship. Yes, I know the champion is there. And Jonathan Moxley is going to need somebody to fight. And that somebody is going to be Bray Wyatt, even though he's not an X Division. No, I don't want to do that because he's not an X Division wrestler. Let's go with Pac. We'll see how this does. Okay, so now I want to do I can't do that match now because I fired Ricochet. Shit. Damn it. Alright, well, that throws an interesting wrench into things now, doesn't it? Okay, well... Yep, I think I got it. So we'll test a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. We'll see how well this goes for us. All right, and then I want another traditional tag match, and I'm going to put the Future against a team we're going to throw together. Bray Wyatt, Jay White. A couple of guys who are very out there, we'll say. Okay, 10 minutes left. I know we've got some main event players that we haven't used yet. Just Bobby Fish. Alright, Bobby Fish. Kenny Omega. Seriously? Kenny doesn't have... Oh yeah, that's right. I knew that. Because he's gonna be fighting at the pay-per-view for the TV title. Okay. Let's run Bobby Fish, Kenny Omega, I suppose, since we've only got 10 minutes left. There we go. Okay. Alright, our 95 minutes are in. And let's go. Alright, New Day Wolves and Violent Conduct works. So we will go ahead and just change this up here. Versus the New Day. And the Wolves actually got the win there. That's awesome. And Road Dogg was our agent for that one. Alright, next. Bobby Fish, Kenny Omega. Doesn't really matter because Kenny has a date with the TV champ to get his title back. The Future versus Bray Wyatt and Jay White. That tag team has great chemistry together. Cool, so we'll create that tag team for sure. And we'll go ahead and pencil this one in, even though I'm writing with a pen. And we'll have to play with a tag team name for Bray Wyatt and Jay White. Don Callis was the road agent for that one. Interesting. Okay. Adam Cole, Johnny Impact was great. So, we'll go ahead and run that for the Grand Championship. And we'll make sure Don Callis has that one. Young Bucks versus TJP and Will Ospreay. Looks like that one's going to be a good one. And looks like we've got another tag team we can play with. TJP and Will Ospreay. Don Callis again. Man, Don coming out of nowhere with some solid matches. Moxley versus Pac is going to give us our X Division title matchup for our next pay-per-view. Matt Bloom. Gonna road agent that one for us. Penta versus Cody turns out pretty well. Cody, your new TV champion. Nobody wants to hang on to this title for some reason. So Cody versus Kenny for the Impact TV title. Or Kenny versus whomever is holding that damn TV title. Seth and Marty Scurll had an awkward bout, but it's still got a B rating. So Seth, we're gonna keep looking, but we'll keep Seth versus Marty Scurll on the radar. B rating overall increased our popularity in 11 regions. That's what we needed. And we got 2 matches out of it that are not title matches. Future versus Bray Wyatt and Jay White, and the Bucks versus TJP and Will Ospreay. So we're going to need tag team names for those 2 teams. What? Oh my goodness. Mixer apparently suspended our channel for inappropriate content or behavior, but I'm not sure what exactly it is that we did that was inappropriate, or like how we behaved that was inappropriate. I'm very confused. Is it because I don't have a shirt on? Could that be it? I don't know. It's whatever. We'll deal with that later. Alright. Unread emails waiting. That would be our awesome... Wow. Interesting. Shocker. Alberto El Patron has alienated himself from a locker room. Alright. Let's check our ratings. Sellout crowd at the Eisheisen Arena. Did a 3.16 on Pop TV, so that's fantastic. And let's take a look at what Mr. Keenan's offer is. Not being seriously considered. Alright, cool. Sweet. So go ahead and sign on that dotted line there, homeboy. So thanks to all those releases that we paid out a pretty penny for, we took a $3 million loss. in August, which is no surprise considering, everything that we had to mess with. But our roster is trimmed down. We're looking pretty good, and we're ready to rock. So, tomorrow's episode, or no, wait, tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? So, Monday's episode number 58, we will talk Destination X 2009. We will have another round of TV, and we'll continue to work towards getting our September No Surrender pay-per-view match all squared away, get that card set and locked in, and continue to chronicle TNA's long history of monthly pay-per-views with Destination X 2009. My name is the Mayor Jason Smith. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you